my baby's home. Cairo, Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you around and take you off your feet. Shoot you, knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard then for you. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
Hello and welcome. Another live stream and a great topic for today, which I always say, but it's a little special one today. It's not only going to be about open tunings and how they can be achieved and played, and basic grips of chords and shapes. I'll give it a twist in the end. But great to see you guys. Norwegian Attack, Gear is here. Great to see you. Yeah, welcome to the live stream. That was me. Tom, you're watching from Facebook, which is great, but I think you'll get the better quality on YouTube. But whatever suits you, it's great. And great that you could be here today, because you reminded me of a great song when you commented last week. So I'll give you a shot on that one. UK Attack. Hello, Graham. Great to see you too. Oh, somebody we haven't seen for a while. Hello, Asyan. Great to see you. On the mobile, well, I hope you got your headphones so you can hear better audio than just from a mobile loudspeaker. Albert, great to see you. Good. So what are we going to do today? It's going to be a great one because I got a topic about open tunings, which can be very intimidating for somebody who never tried to do open tunings, who doesn't know maybe how to tune to open tunings. So I've prepared some stuff that will help you. If you've never done this before, it's going to be easy to understand where do you go from standard tuning when you want to let's say, concentrate on open D or open G. I'm not going to go into crazy alternate tunings, Joni Mitchell tunings, and many other guitar players around the world who found amazing tunings that are suitable for their playing style, for songs they're playing, singing, and so on. I'm just going to concentrate on these two because no matter how I tried and how many other tunings I've tried, I always kind of go back to these two basics. Maybe it's because I'm playing this very traditional music style. Maybe when you play blues or country, hillbilly, I mean, maybe you're stuck with these tunings. Like in open G, you have either the classic open G or you have the dobro open G tuning. I'll tell you about that a little bit later on. But today, the backup is going to be in open tunings. So the first one is going to be in open G, and the other one, the other song is in open D. So if you have your guitar just tuned in a regular standard tuning, just go with the first song. Either play along in the key of G as you would grab it, or with the capo on the 3rd fret, then you have the E position. We can start from there. And live blues backups. Let's go. So I'm in open G, and I'll just do the slow blues in G. And if you have the time while you're playing along with me to watch the grips I'm taking, I'll be repeating those when we start explaining the grips and tricks in open tunings. So this is going to be about the G open. So yeah, follow along and let's play some slow blues in G. Now let's go to the second backup, which is going to be in open D. So if you play in D and you're not used to that, well, either tune very fast into open D or follow along by playing a capo on the second fret and then playing in the key of C. It might collide with what I'm doing because I'm playing this shuffly kind of Chicago blues, slow blues style, and you might play in a kind of clean C chord. But now fool around, see what you can come up with, and then we'll go on. I have a better solution. Let's do it this way. Why didn't I think of this before? I'm an amateur. So, open D tuning. If I take a capo and put it on the second fret, instead of D, I'm going to be in E, which means if you still have your guitar in standard tuning, you'll be able to play along if you just play in E, as we always did. In my previous live streams, the first backup was always in standard tuning, E, slow blues. So let's do a slow blues in E again, but I'm in open D. So if you're in open D, you prepared me for this live stream, you saw my advertising, yeah, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and on Twitter. Is anybody following me on Twitter? Okay. I love Twitter. Somehow, for some reason, I love it. And I love when Patrick comes in. Great to see you. Hello, my friend. So, slow blues in open D, but in the key of E. And we're going to be talking about, keys and combinations of keys with open tunings, with capos, without capos, grips, and all kinds of stuff. Let's just go through this first. And enjoy the backup. All right. I'm wondering if anybody remembers my dilemma from last week when it comes to audio tails in my both voice and guitar sound when I let a string ring. Last week I had problems with kind of these endings kind of being chopped off because of some of the settings that I had in my audio interface. And I'm tinkering with that all the time because I want you guys to have the best possible audio, maybe even more important than the visual part. But audio needs to be really good so you can hear the nuances in playing, you can hear all the mistakes. No problem with making mistakes, absolutely. So open tunings. I've been fascinated with open tunings ever since I've heard slide guitar for the first time. And when I heard it for the first time, it was played in open D and later on in open G. And that's why I kind of went into learning those two tunings. And then I kind of stuck with those for like 45 years. So there must be something good with those because they still fill me with joy and I love playing them. I don't know, I love exploring. Sometimes very small things can add to the joy and they just like, okay, I'm saved for another 6 months because this was great and let's just, run on that. It's my fuel when it comes to playing. I apologize. I still haven't got used to X. I think it's a very, I think I get why it's called X and why Elon Musk's enterprises are called with X and all that. Yeah, fine, but I don't know. I just love Twitter as it was when it came out. And I mean, Twitter as a social network is something that's very, very strong in former Yugoslavia and the countries around there that, became countries, independent countries after the Civil War in the 90s. And a lot of people are using Twitter to express themselves, to work for the democracy, which is much broader use of Twitter X than it's maybe here in Sweden. I don't know. But I enjoy using it. And there are a lot of tech people who are interested in things that I'm interested in, also on X. So when it comes to productivity, video, audio production, Notion. So yeah, I like it. Yeah, I know, it's X. Okay. But okay, if we say it in Swedish, Lars-Göran, how do you say, har du varit på Xet på sistone? I mean, you get it. Yeah, it's a crazy twist in the language. Can't be translated into English, sorry. But anyway, okay, where was I? Open tunings. Bloody hell. Great stuff. So, first I'm going to show you how open tunings relate to the standard tuning, right? So in the middle you have standard, to the left open G, to the right open D. And this is usually enough for somebody who's been playing for a long time, who knows about tunings, where the notes are, and for them it's natural to okay, I'll go from E to D in both of these tunings. But some people are really not knowledgeable about the notes names or how they're coming in which order. So some people are just listening and playing, and they've learned by listening, and they don't know anything about notes. So for those, I have another diagram which says in which direction you need to retune your guitar. So I'm going to do the very same thing. Now I'm going to go from open tuning, from standard tuning into open D, which is on the left, right? So the first note, E, needs to go the whole step down to D. So it's going to be, that's half step. That's around there somewhere. I'm not going to use the tuning machine at all because I want to show you how these notes that you need to reach are related to already existing notes on your guitar. So if we go and if I show you the fourth string in standard tuning is a note of D, right? So the first string now needs to be D instead of E. We went down the whole step. Now we're just going to kind of fine tune it. So we go to, let's say, the harmonics on the 12th fret here. Oh, sorry. Well, that's an, you know, a D note. And then we play the first string and just try to match it with this. That's fine for now, because as we retune the guitar, the strings that are above or under the string we're retuning are going to react. If you lower a note on a string, the next string is going to react by going a little bit sharp. So we need to kind of readjust along the way. So. Usually I would also adjust the bass, which also needs to go, let's see, I'm going to have to go back. The bass, the sixth string, which is all the way down, needs to be D as well. So I just go like this, play the fourth string, and then go half step. And we're okay. So now we have 3 D notes on the first string, on the fourth, and on the sixth. Second, the big bass is now fixed, right? So now I would go to the second string, which is the note of B or H. This was made for a group of people from Germany, and they still say H, not the B. So the second string is B or H, or Ha in German. Even in my own native language, Serbian, it's called Ha. So that note needs to go down to A. So that's half step. Right? And that corresponds, that corresponds to an open fifth string now. You see? So now we have D on the first string, A on a second string, A on a fifth string, and then we have D on the sixth string and D on the fourth string. So the only thing we need, what we're missing here, is the third of that chord of D, which means the third note in the D scale. So if we play the D major scale from the fourth string, we've come to the 12th fret, right? But we need a third note, which is first note, second. This is the third note. So we need this note on the third string. So you can do it this way, let's say. And you hear this note is brighter, it's sharper than this one. So that needs to go half step lower, which goes, and we can check it again. Somewhere there. But if we now play the whole chord and expect an open D in, you know, perfect intonation, yeah, since we went a little bit lower on the third string, that caused the second string to go a little bit sharp, so we need to kind of retune in between. That's why, of course, it's great if you have a tuning machine and you can always adjust to that, and that's great. But if you don't, then you can expect that some strings will go sharp when you lower the note on the string right next to it. So let's say this will be quite okay. open tuning. Open D. We're done with that. So on my metal guitar, I have this D open already. So I'll stay on this guitar for the time being and show you some basic grips in open D tuning when it comes to the chord 1, which is D, the chord 4 in a regular kind of 12-bar blues, which is 5th fret, and the chord 5 is on the 7th fret, and then open strings. It sounds a bit funnier if we play it with a slide. So the 1st, and then we glide to the 5th fret with all 6 strings, and then the 7th fret, sounds brilliant, sounds great. So the basic pattern of a slow blues in open D now is played like this. So you play the 6th and the 5th string with your thumb, just as in the standard tuning, but we have the open, and then we fret on the 2nd fret on the 5th string. 3rd fret, 2nd, open, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. Now, when we switch, when we change into the chord 4, then we just move to the 5th fret and play exactly the same thing, but now we fret on the 5th and 7th frets. Right? And the reason why I'm moving my finger to both frets instead of playing with my pinky is because I'm usually wearing slide when I'm doing this. So if you wear a slide, it's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, you get used to it. And so on. And then in the chord of A, which is the fifth chord in the 12-bar blues in open D, we need a chord of A, which is either on the 7th fret, where we can just replicate the same thing we did on a, right? But now on a 7th and 9th fret, and then back to 5th. And now we need to do a turnaround, which is which led us to another form of chord of A, which is here. A nice A7. I'll explain this in a second. I'll just go through the turnaround. So the turnaround goes, the turnaround consists of 2 measures. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. I don't like, counting too much. I don't like, well, of course, 12-bar blues is a 12-bar blues, and if you play it according to the frame of 12 bars, then the 11th and 12th bar are actually this turnaround, and then we start off with number 1 again. So if we go to the, let's say, 9th and 10th, 10th measure, and now 11, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go to the beginning again, right? So the turnaround starts always with one of the ones, like either the bass note or a lick played somewhere. But if you want just to learn how it goes from the beginning, it's like bass, and then you have basses played on the 5th string, on the 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and open string, and then you follow that with a A chord, and then you go going back. So this can be varied with playing like a or, and then we need a little bit of the slide, or to the 7th fret, which is the chord of A. So let me show you now the A chord, A7 here. So it's fretted on the 2nd fret, 4th string, then the 1st string on the 3rd, open 5th string, and then open 2nd string, and then a 2nd string, 2nd fret on the 1st string. And so if I go from, let's say, from the 5th chord and back to the turnaround and then to the beginning, it would go like this. Bass. And they go on. So instead of playing on the 7th fret up here, we have exactly the same notes here on the 2nd fret, on the 4th string, and on the 4th fret, and we play the 5th and 4th string at the same time. So it's the same as. Bass, and turn around. I'll show a little twist around this, which is beautiful. It's something that I've heard from Robert Johnson. So when you play the 4th chord, sorry, on the 5th fret, this. Now, following exactly this note, you maybe see that my index here is not covering all 6 strings. It's a little bit away from the strings, like this, right? So it's not pressing them, it's a little bit away so that I can play the 1st and 2nd string open. Like this, you know, per se, they don't sound, you know, too musical, but if we do like this. And then now to the A. And so on. It's such a wonderful duo of drone notes of A and D, which fits well with all 3 chords. So Robert Johnson did it in Rambling on My Mind, where the intro goes like a and then he sings, I got rambling all on my mind. Right, so he threw them in there, those. And it sounds just beautiful. So I'm trying to play this sparingly, because if you do it all the time, it's not as beautiful, right? But that's it. That's about Hey Ralph, great to see you here. You'd be curious to know how I think about scales in open tunings, that it makes sense to learn them. Not for me, I'm sorry. I've never actually played scales. I did maybe a couple of months in the beginning when I started playing the guitar, and a teacher who my father knew just came into our house and they showed me, like, you need to learn this, right? This scale, right? So I learned the fingerings in the standard tuning for scales, and it was okay. But I was always interested in playing melodies, so I always try to find where the melody is on the fretboard. Then I kind of memorize that mostly visually. So if, let's say, if we take the scale on the 1st string would be, But if you want me to play that as a scale with the slide on my finger and try to start from, let's say, I really needed to think about this. No, I just can't do it. I've never done it, and I wouldn't bother. But if you're used to play scales in standard tuning, and if you have some, let's say, arpeggios or some nice exercises and some maybe things you've learned how to do in standard tuning, then it might be beneficial to try to do them and emulate them in open tuning, just to find your ways around and, you know, to know where the notes are. So maybe it could be something, you know, that's benefiting you. But for me, I'm mostly interested in, let's say, playing melodies with slide and then accompany that with big, nice bass, especially in the open tuning. Let's say if I go to play Jesus on the Main Line, this is kind of, you know, Ry Cooder-ish approach to that, and then I found I had this melody in my head, and then I found it on. And then I realized, okay, now I'm in A there, so let's try to do that with a droned note, maybe the first string. Okay, now I'm in D open, then there's a great progression, let's say E7, A7, D after. And then another register, let's say another octave of notes. So I mean, I don't know, I just usually sing in my head the notes that I like, and then I try to find them on the fretboard. When it comes to like improvising around this melody, it was... So this is like, I just threw myself into this. Usually when I play, it's a lot of, you know, risk taking and just going into that. And I know I love this song. I've played it for many, many years. But yeah, no scales really. But to be honest, Ralph, when I started teaching and people were asking me like, well, how do you know where those melodies are? Well, by singing them, playing them, and then memorizing them, because, you know, you have gigs, you know, a couple of gigs every maybe a week, every month, and you know, just that piles up and you just remember things. So I remembered that there's actually a scale going in thirds here on the open first string, and then the second string is open in the beginning, but then you have this pattern that I described in one of my previous live streams, but let's go through that fast. So there's a pattern here, a visual pattern that I kind of memorized first, but then I kind of memorized also where the notes are. So it goes like this. On the same frets are played on the open strings, then 5th, 7th, and 12th fret. So other combination, the thirds, are played with a index finger on one string and the other finger on the first string is on the next fret coming. This might sound really stupid to somebody who's like, you know, either educated musically or you know, thinks more theory than, you know, practical stuff. But I kind of visualize that like that. So then it's going to be the same fret, and then this back to that pattern from here. Where the music starts is when I started to fool around with these, like, okay, how do these relate to, let's say, some ideas that I have in my head, like a... You combine them with chords, and then it's like a this is very much of a folk music from the Mediterranean, from, you know, Italy, Croatia, Bosnia maybe. It's a very harmonic, very majory sounding chords and melody shapes, right? I said, let's say, in my song called Hedda's Dream, I had this. Part of it, right? So it's all based on these nice melodies in thirds. Good. So that would be the basics of open D tuning. There are variations, and I'd like to show just one more when it comes to the fourth chord, the note, the chord of G, because the three chords in the D blues, 12-bar blues, are D, G, and A, right? So the G chord can be played here, but also here. This is a bit dissonant, but if you want to play it straight, it's going to be like this. Right, so I'm fretting the second fret on the fifth string, first on the third, and then the second fret on the second string. It goes like this. This corresponds to, but it's got another kind of dimension here, right? Because we're playing, this note is missing from this big, but it's a nice variation. So once maybe I'll play it here, the next time we're going to be, or some other time I would not even play the kind of shuffle pattern. I would play just and so on. So it's great. I love it. It's a lot of ringing, a lot of drone notes. Maybe like that. So everything is based on the G chord kind of shape, but then I'm adding this fourth string on the third fret. And that even rings well with the big bass of the D. And so on. So I always like to kind of break it a little bit. Not to play one and the same idiom, the same phrase many times. Sometimes you would maybe go into like a, and you would just feed it like the whole like 4 measures before you switch to the next chord. That's also great. Maybe you can play it up here. Then you go back again. Then I would cool it down with this. The same like, you know, when you hear Elmore James playing Dust My Broom, goes like a... And then again, and then he goes just to... And only plays the backup, nothing else. So that's also great. So let's go to open G. Oh no, it's gonna be the same guitar, sorry. Okay, so I will just, I'll mute my mic and just go back to standard tuning so I can show you how you go from standard tuning to open G instead. Good. Right, so let's assume we are in standard tuning again. Because of the retuning, I'll have to make sure that I'm on the same, at least the first note as you guys are, if you have a standard tune guitar. Okay, good enough. So the first note needs to go down to D again. So it's the same as in open, from standard to open D and open G. Same thing. Harmonic on the third, on the fourth string. And now the surprise comes because the second, third, and the fourth string are going to be exactly the same as in standard tuning when you tune to open G, which makes it a bit easier to retune or to detune. So it's going to be, and then the fifth string is going to go from G down to A, right? So if you see the pattern here, it goes down, half step. The good thing about this is that you already have a G note on the third string. So I usually go from, let's say, A to... And there's also another rule of tuning. I always want to reach the note that I need to tune to from below. So I never kind of go from above if the note is too sharp, and kind of you lower it, you go flatter, and then you reach the note you think is okay, even if you have a tuning machine on. But that was going to fool you because it's going to go even lower, so it's not going to be in tune. So it's always best to go a little bit lower, a little bit flatter, and then go back to the right note. So in this case, I would go and play the harmonic on the 12th fret on the 5th string and compare that to open G string. It'll be somewhere there. But now, if you listen to this, somewhere there. So now when I go with the big bass from E down to D, watch what happens with the second bass string, with the 5th string. Those two are okay. But now the G string again. It went a little bit sharp. I mean, ever so slightly, but it's still a little bit sharp. And that's because we lowered the pitch on the 6th string, and that affected the string below. So this is a common thing that kind of confuses people who are not used to tuning open tunings. And sometimes they just give up because they think, oh, this is impossible. My guitar is not good enough. My tuning machines are not good. You know, sometimes it's much simpler than that. This would be an open G, right? The basic chords in open G are, let's say, if we compare it to the open D, then the main pattern is going to be on the 5th and 4th string, but it's going to be the same fingering as in open D. So it's going to be open strings and then the 2nd fret on the 4th string this time. Right? Then the 4th chord is going to be on the 5th fret, also on the 5th and the 4th string, which is great because there are similarities between these tunings. And then the 7th fret is going to be the chord of D, then C again, and then G. And the turnaround is going to be the same as in open D, basically the same frets and the same pattern of playing, but you can play the G note and the on as a drone, open string, the 3rd, and then you fret the 4th string on the 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and then open. It goes like this. Now you can meet that chord with a slide on the 7th fret, like a. Or let the big bass ring. And then you go to the pattern, to the 12-bar shuffle pattern. So when it comes to, let's say, if we think Muddy Waters and his walking blues, or country blues as he called it in the beginning on his plantation recordings, let's say he did the turnaround sound like this. And so on. So he didn't play this. We're still not in the years of Chicago blues and the Chicago blues shuffle. This is Muddy Waters in 1941. So the way he played the slow blues was something that he heard, let's say, from Son House before him, from Robert Johnson, from Willie Brown, and people who were playing in the 20s and 30s. So it's a wonderful pattern if you want to play a slow blues in G. So I really encourage you to learn how to do it. And if I show it slowly, so it's big bass, then turn around like I would play all 3 strings, like chopping them all together at the same time. So we didn't switch to the 5th chord, to the chord of D, not here. We just stayed in G. That's one of the muddiest things that he did. And then when he plays the backup for his singing, let's say for the walking blues, he does like this: bass, and then 3rd, 2nd fret, big bass, and then he glides either with a slide or just by bending the 6th string, like from the 3rd fret a little bit, almost until the note on the 5th fret. And then he switches, right? So that's a great pattern. Something to learn in open G. Now, if we just think songs that are played in open G, which are in the key of G, which means your main basic chord is G, and then all upcoming chord changes are related to that main chord, which is the key of the song, right? So let's say if I play "Wake Up Mama, Turn Your Lamp Down Low," then I switch to C. "Wake up Mama, turn your lamp down low. Have you got the nerve to drive the bubble from the door? Daddy, daddy, left me, daddy, daddy, left me a while," and so on and so on. So we're playing in open G. The song's key is G, but there are situations when it would be great if we played in open G, but the key of the song is not G. It may be C, it may be D, right? So I've prepared something especially for my buddy Tom Jensen, who is in the audience today. And Tom and I go way back. I've played on Almo Blues Festival in Sweden for ages. I think my first appearance there was in 1997, and I believe Tom was in the audience already then, and then he kind of came every year when I played. It's a great friend of mine. So I know that he loves a song by Lead Belly called Silver City Bound, or Silver City Blues, sometimes it's called like that. So I'm gonna show you something here. This is Apple Music, and if we just play that song, Silver City Bound, if I just go... Give me a second. Okay.
Silver City bound, I'm Silver City bound. Well, I tell my baby, I'm Silver City bound. Ain't blind lemon, gonna ride on down.
Whoa. Maybe YouTube's gonna kill me because of this. Maybe Facebook is gonna be kind of dampened by algorithm, so that this song is kind of muted later on when somebody wants to watch the replay. But well, now I've played it to you. So the melody is like a Silver City bound, do 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 do, Silver City bound, do 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 do, Silver City bound, do 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 do. The melody is very resemblant of, let's say, Corina, Corina, Wednesday last night, or Alberta, Alberta, and so on. So the melody itself is kind of something that's repeating itself in many different songs. It always dependent on the rhythm, the chords played, and maybe the order of notes coming, but it's that pattern. So, and I also love this song. It's amazing. And I just realized that if I'm in open G and put the capo on the first fret, I will be in Lead Belly's key, right? If I just go back and play just a second, right? And I was thinking when Tom suggested or just mentioned this song in our conversation, I thought, geez, wait a minute. He plays this song in standard tuning, or yeah, he does, but he plays it in the key of C, just a regular C chord shape. But he's playing on his 12-string guitar, and that guitar is tuned way lower. So basically, what we're getting there is that his first note is G sharp, which I have here when I'm in open G. So the open G without the capo would be D, B, G, D, G again on the bass, and the D on the bass. If we put the capo on the first fret, we just kind of move the whole tuning into G sharp. But if let me just pull up my notes, because I have some ideas written down so I don't forget them. So, a Silver City bound, Silver City bound, I'm gonna tell my baby, I'm Silver City bound, gonna meet my lemon, gonna ride on down. Just emulated how he sounded basically, but I've never played this song live, never learned how to play it, but it's a great that's why I started showing you the open G and, let's say, the song of Statesboro Blues, because I used a lot of these patterns in Statesboro Blues. Wake up, mama, turn the lamp down low. And then you get the Silver City Bound when you hear this. Which is beautiful. I kind of, okay. If I wanted to learn this song, this would be the pattern that I would play it in. Maybe an open G tuning like this, but I already feel that even if I take the capo off and go into G, Silver City Bound. This is not really my key for singing this song. I could shout it. I could maybe find another kind of variation to the melody, like a Silver City Bound, Silver City Bound, go to my baby, Silver City Bound, I'm gonna meet Blind Lemon, gonna ride on down. And then I would maybe find some pattern around that and play it. But if I wanted to play the same melody as Let Belly sang, I'm Silver City Bound, this is too high for me. So here's the biggest twist on things when you think open tunings. And maybe this is going to be kind of too much for somebody who's just started playing open tunings. But it doesn't mean that if you're an open G, that you need to play a song only in the key of G. Let's say if I would play this very same song, but in the key of C, which is on my 5th fret here. I'm Silver City Bound, going to my baby, I'm Silver City Bound. So this is even too low, but kind of in between. Maybe I would put the capo on the 2nd fret and play that song again in the 4th chord, but I'm in open G. So please don't let me confuse you too much, because I'm confused myself already. But let's say we think G, open, but we're going to play in C. So the C is going to be the key of this song. A Silver City Bound, Silver City Bound, gonna be tell little baby, Silver City Bound. So which was the 2nd chord? It was a chord of F. So the chord of F is, since we have a G open tuning where the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th string are the same as in standard tuning, I know my F chord is here. So let me see, if I play the open 1st string, that's going to be a note of D. It can be a nice droned note sometimes, but let's see what happens if I play, that's F7. Right? Sounds good. Or I would just skip the 1st string, just dampen it with the part of my index finger here. So it's going to be like this. And then I would grab the note F here on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And since this change is a very short one, like a Silver City Bound, Silver City Bound, gonna live my baby, Silver City Bound. So I'm going back to C again, right? And then I need a chord of G, which is the 5th chord in the key of C. So gonna meet Blind Lemon, gonna ride on down. So these are the basics. So what ideas does this give me? It gives me the idea, okay, this sounds shit, like very simple, and I can't do too much with this C chord. Maybe I can grab it here. Silver City Bound, Silver City Bound. Sounds nice, drony. It's a beautiful kind of harmonic, or just a plain C with a big bass. Sounds nice. I mean, the note of G goes into the into the C chord, but not as a main bass maybe. In this case, sounds great. Silver City Bound. And then I thought, okay, why not play it with slide? Just that 1st chord. And then there's this nice lick that, I mean, you don't really need to be a fantastic guitar player to be able to pull this off, because it's the same as if you play with a index and then open string, fifth, and the same chord here. No, we're not playing that Greek song, Zorba, no. But it's like so with the slide. So Silver City bound, Silver City bound, with a bit of a basic finger picking, which is right. So if I combine that with a slided chord on the 5th fret with this nice bass, this is one dimension of that, because now all 6 strings are ringing compared to and so on, right? And then I started experimenting, like, okay, and I mean, all this happened, I think 2 days ago, no, yesterday. And I was thinking, okay, wait a minute, I have these kind of country voicings in these chords that are played like on the higher frets. I mean, let's find out which notes I have. Right? That corresponds. If we just briefly go back to open G. So if I want to emulate that in the C, where do I have that? That needs to be so let me show you that. So when it comes, I need to play the chord of G for one measure. This is to reach the chord of F, we can play it here, right, as I showed you before, but we can also reach it up here. On the 10th fret. So it's a jump from the 5th to 10th fret, but sometimes I would use it because it's a change. It's a new kind of dynamic thing. So like a so this, of course, this asks for, a couple of years of playing these different tunings and knowing where your notes are. Let's say, so this is kind of when people talk about, well, fretting behind the slide or alternating fretted and slided notes. This could be, let's say, in this case, played with slide on the 5th fret and then played just pressed on the second with the index on the 1st and the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. So this can be played. But it's good to be ready for other kinds of variations, which can be like a so this This is G, basically. So we play C, G, and then go to F. And that's where the chord comes, the chord change comes, like a Silver City bound, Silver City bound, oh, Silver City bound. So I kind of fooled around here with a, and then the melody for the down is first fret on the second string, open, second fret third, and then open. And by this note, I'm back in C. So I can either go back to play C or just go. And then we need to so the kind of a scale, if we go back to Ralph and his question, let's go, well, there are scales, but I do them maybe different ways, like a right, so oh, sorry. That would be kind of a fooled around scale in C. Oh God, I'm playing, and I lost touch with the chat. Let's see, Knopfler, Mark Knopfler, Romeo and Juliet, same thing. Yeah, exactly. That's a very recognizable melody. Lands on the open tuning as conclusion. Yeah, of course. That would be, let's say, a Silver City Bound, played in C shape, but still in the key of open G. Now, in the key of C, but still in the tuning of open G. I mean, we can fool around with this for ages, and I could, show you something else in open D. Maybe I will save that for next week's live stream, so we can concentrate on playing in open D as a tuning, but the song can be in maybe A or G. No, we'll make it in A, because that's going to be different from what we did today. So we'll take the fifth chord, which is A in the open D, and then we'll fool around and play in that key. But still, we're going to be in open D. Whoa, I'm all confused now already. Sorry, I hope I'm not confusing you as well at the same time. But yeah. Oh, here's Tom. Wonderful, I can hear that you're doing a great song, even better. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Well, I'm not sure it's going to be the full version next time. And I don't know about singing full songs in the live stream, because I've had problems with YouTube putting, copyright claims, or not even YouTube, but record companies or publishers who didn't like me to, when I played songs, neither live or from Apple Music or Spotify. So it's like it's crazy, but maybe I'll do something. But next week I'm gonna do this great open D, little twist around that, and I have some other requests from people that I'm having contact with in between live streams and all that. So it's gonna be fun. But hey guys, we're way beyond the hour. I thought I could pull this off within an hour, but no, I got carried away with this. It just sounded great, and I loved it. Oh, okay, thank you. So you're giving me some time for this next time you see me live. Okay, good. Why not? I'll give you that promise. I'll put this on my playlist and on my set list. Silver City Bound. Yeah, good. Great one. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today. It's been a blast, and I hope you'll come back next week. Usual time, 9 p.m. Central European time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific. I'm learning this like that. Good. I know the time zones. Cool. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next week. All right. I thought was gonna press the right button, but I didn't. But no, I'm gonna do it. So, see you next.
And it was in spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, Lord, she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. If you called me up, down and out by soul, said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Don't like my peaches. And it was in spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, Lord, she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. If you call me up, down and out by soul, said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world.